The arrest of a 22-year-old woman outside St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh on Sunday the 11th has sparked some fierce debates online as people clash in their opinions over whether the woman should have been arrested or not. Now, Police Scotland are suggesting the woman was arrested for breach of the peace, but online commentators are suggesting it was for a Section 5 public order offence or equivalent. A breach of the peace and a Section 5 public order are two quite different things. Public order under Section 5 is if a person uses threatening or abusive words or behaviour or displays any writing or sign or other visible representation which is threatening or abusive within the sight or hearing of another person, likely to be caused harassment, alarm and distress. Whereas a breach of the peace is used to prevent unlawful violence against people or property. Although Scotland's legislation is slightly different from elsewhere in the UK, and they use, I believe, the Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland Act 2021. The arrested woman, who's not yet been named, was said to have been holding a sign on which was written, "Fuck imperialism, abolish monarchy." Now, to be quite fair, there's nothing on that sign that relates to the Queen's death, and I think is a valid point. A point that many people would agree with, and in a society where we have the right to protest, I don't believe the woman should have been arrested. I mean, a person can wear a t-shirt that says "fuck Boris" on it, which targets a specific person, but this sign, which was not targeting a specific person but an idea of the monarchy, is deemed as causing alarm, harassment and distress. It simply doesn't make sense. A Police Scotland spokesperson said, a 22-year-old woman was arrested outside St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh on Sunday, September the 11th, in connection with a breach of the peace. She was charged and was released on an undertaking to appear at Edinburgh Sheriff Court at a later date. Now, I did not see the show that was put on, as it simply doesn't interest me in the slightest. The woman's now dead. It's a shame for the family, but it changes nothing for me or the people I love. So as far as I'm concerned, it is pretty much just the same as an old dear 7 streets away that I've never met in my life, kicking the bucket. But even if it was someone I knew who had died and someone came to protest about something that they had done or were involved with without attacking the person themselves, then I would have no issue with that. It's like a police constable being killed and then people saying defund the police. It's not targeting the person, and so as a nation which used to pride itself on freedoms of its inhabitants, I think that free speech in this circumstance should reign. Now, on LBC, James O'Brien was talking about the incident when a retired police constable called in. I should point out that he did say that he was also a royalist, in order to try and explain to James about why the person was and should have been arrested. After listening to him, I can see why he is no longer plod, but I was intrigued by something that he said. Retired police officer Dave in Lewisham called in to tell James that it is a Section 5 public order offence. It's causing harassment, alarm or distress. James O'Brien asked Dave, "Do you not need someone to tell you that they are distressed? Don't you need proof that someone is in distress?" Dave said, "No, you make that call yourself." Unless Dave is talking crap, police will arrest you simply on their own personal belief or personal beef with a person without needing a single complaint from a member of the public as to whether they are alarmed, harassed or distressed. I mean, I think we all knew this happened anyway, but this seems to clarify that. As I say, a piece of card with some words on such as "fuck imperialism, abolish monarchy" is, as I have said, absolutely no worse than wearing a t-shirt that says "fuck Boris" on it or "defund the police," and I believe is a legitimate statement in protest for someone to make, but simply being in the vicinity of a royalist copper or some virtue signalling token hire could land you in hot water, which to me is an abuse of powers. Now, the retired cop did mention that the police could have also arrested the woman for her safety, but again, I would ask myself why she should be unsafe by expressing an opinion on the monarchy. Surely the people who might want to cause harm to someone for that should be the ones to be removed themselves. I mean, if someone can't handle a bit of free speech, then maybe they shouldn't be in a large group of people for fear of being triggered. I know some of you are going to mention the fact that Queenie has died, as if we didn't already know that, but this gathering that the sign was held up in was nothing to do with the Queen herself or her death. The placard, the gathering, it was both about Charles becoming king and that the monarchy should be abolished. So please, keep the have some respect comments for another video, as this isn't about having respect for the Queen after her death. It's about the idea of a monarchy and nothing more. However, I do personally think the police abused their powers in this situation, preventing somebody from protesting in a public space. But because it's the Queen and the establishment wants to look like it's doing the right thing, I believe this woman, and I believe 2 other people arrested on Sunday, will be punished in order to teach others a lesson not to have opinions of your own and not to use your right to freedom of expression, unless of course that expression is in line with everybody else's.